Alright, so today we're going to be using the law of sines to find missing sides and angles of non-right triangles. So if you look at this triangle here, we know it's not a right triangle because there is no 90-degree angle. This says 96, so I know that this is not a right triangle. To find a missing side or a missing angle of a non-right triangle, you have to be able to use the law of sines. To use the law of sines, what we do is we set up these ratios where the angle is related to the side, and it's all sines. And what we can do is look at our information that our triangle gives us and plug it in to two of these pieces. And what I mean by pieces, this is one piece, two piece, three piece. So we only need to use two to solve for anything that's missing. So what I'm going to do is look at my triangle, and first off it asks me to find CA. CA, they're both capital, so C is here, A is here. What that means is it wants me to find this side of this triangle. If I was to label this side of the triangle, it would be side B, because it is across from angle B. And because it's across, it's opposite angle B, that means that that is side B. I'm going to go ahead and label this other side here, and this would be side A, because it is across from angle A. So now what I can do is I can put these pieces together. Side B goes with angle B. Side A goes with angle A. And what I can do is plug these into these little ratios here. The thing that I have to understand is that I'm not using all three pieces. So if I look at this, I have information for A, I have information for B, but I don't have anything for C. I don't have an angle here, and I don't have a side here. So I'm not going to use this ratio. Okay? I'm only going to focus on these two. So what I'm going to do is rewrite these ratios with plugging in the information for both A and B. Okay, so A is 15 degrees and side A is 29. And then B is 96 degrees. And side B is what we're looking for. Remember, CA equals side B. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So to solve for B, what I need to do is first off get it out from underneath the fraction. And I do that by multiplying both sides of this equation by B. So that will cancel this out here, and now it's out from underneath the fraction. So I have B times the sine of 15 degrees divided by 29 equals the sine of 96 degrees. And I still have to solve for B. I have to get B by itself, so I'm going to have to move a couple pieces away from B. I have to move this 29. I also have to move this sine of 15. We're going to start by moving the 29. To move the 29, I need to multiply both sides of this equation by 29. So these will cancel out, and I have B times the sine of 15 degrees equals 29 times the sine of 96 degrees. The last piece I need to move is this sine of 15 degrees. And I can do that by dividing both sides by the sine of 15 degrees. And then these will cancel out, and I'm left with B equals 29 times the sine of 96 degrees over the sine of 15 degrees. From here, it's just inputting this into your calculator. So we have, turn this on really quick, 29 times the sine of 96. What I'm going to do is put this top piece inside a set of parentheses. So I'll speak as I'm typing here. I have parenthesis 29 times sine of 96, parenthesis, one more parenthesis. Then I'm going to divide by the sine of 15 degrees. We're going to hit enter, and this is going to be b equals 111.43, and it doesn't tell us anywhere on this to round to any specific point, so that's where I'm going to cut it off. The decimal does go a little further, but I'm going to leave it at 0.43. So b is equal to 111.43. That means that CA equals 111.43. Okay. So that's to find a missing side. On the next problem, we're going to find a missing angle. So for this next problem, we're going to find the measure of angle A. Get my triangle set up here. I apologize. That was 15 here. Okay, so sorry about that. That's 35. So what we're going to do, it says find the measure of angle A, and this is how our problem is set up here. We have C is 75 degrees. This side is 24. This side is 35. Again, I'm going to use the law of sines to solve for this missing piece, and in this case it's an angle. I'm going to start by labeling my sides. So I know that I'm looking for angle A. The side across from angle A is always labeled side A, so I know that these two pieces will go together. And then I have side, or angle C. Angle C is 75 degrees. And the side directly across from angle C is side C, and that's 35. So I'm going to go ahead and put those two together. If I look at my ratios, I know that I won't be using anything that has anything to do with the letter B, because I have no information for this angle or this side. So I'm going to go ahead and cross it out. So these are the two pieces I'm going to use. I'm just going to rewrite them closer together here. So those are the two ratios that I'll use. From here, I'm just going to substitute in my values. A is what we're looking for. Side A is 24. And then angle C is 75 degrees. And side C is 35. So what I'm going to do is solve for side A. I need to get A by its, or solve for angle A. I need to get A by itself. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this fraction over here by multiplying both sides of this equation by 24. So these will cancel. I have the sine of angle A is equal to 24 times the sine of 75 degrees divided by 35. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part of this equation, this fraction right here on this side, and I'm going to put it in the calculator, and I'll get a decimal, which I can put down here. So in the calculator, what I'm going to do is parenthesis 24 times the sine of 75 degrees, parenthesis, parenthesis, divided by 35. And I'm going to get 0.662349138. Now I know that that's a long decimal, and usually most of the time we'd round it to 0.66 or 0.7. But in this case, what you want to do is keep this decimal long. You don't want to round it because it's going to change the degree of the angle that you find. So what you can do in this case is we're solving for this angle. I know that I'm going to have to find the inverse sine of this decimal. But as long as this decimal is already in your calculator as your answer that you left off with, you can hit second sine, second, it's the button that looks like this, and above it in green or blue, depending on your calculator, it has an A and S. So if you hit second and then hit that button, it'll pop up A and S into this set of parentheses on your calculator. And what it's doing is it's taking this decimal and dropping it in. And it just says A and S because it's your previous answer. So anyway, we're going to hit enter. And angle A, the measure of angle A, is equal to 41.5 degrees. So that is how you find a missing angle using the law of sines on a non-right triangle.